What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Nick Robinson, back with the Hour Effect. We're back at it again. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all those good things. I really appreciate it. Now, let's get right into the Love Hotel episode, The Spy Before the Storm. Okay, so top of the episode, Shannon busts out Luann and James. She saw James leaving Luann's room and she tells the group, and it's like, okay, girl, like, she was like, well, I didn't know it was a secret. And it's like, it's not that it's a secret, it's just mind your business. I don't know. Like, Luann was like, she had to tell everybody, like, exactly, like, mind your business. You could have been like, girl, what's going on, or something. But you got to go tell the whole group. Like, the whole group might not have known that he was tipping back and forth. You know what I'm saying? And it's not their business. So anyway, the top of the day starts, and Joel tells them that there will be no more eliminations until the final decisions. There will be an overnight date, and that, at any time the ladies can give the men a key to their villa or whatever. And also that there's another group date coming. So, in the course of all of this, Mark decides that he's leaving Luann, alone. He's just giving up on Luann because it's clear to him that James and Luann are just stuck at the hip at this point, especially after what, was revealed with him leaving her room and stuff. It's kind of like any man there can just pretty much hang it up because, why would she go any further with anybody else when she got this man coming out her room? Okay. So, when we see that Mark was talking to Gizelle, he was throwing his shot at her, right? And Gizelle was like, so no woman wants to feel like she's second. And I feel like the only reason you over here is because Luann and, James got their thing going on, because you wouldn't be over here if not for that. And so he was trying to play it like, oh yeah, I've liked you and da 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 da. And he was trying to give her these compliments. And Gizelle was like, no. He should have known. Clearly he hasn't paid much attention to Gizelle. Gizelle ain't the one for that at all. She not even gonna entertain it. She ain't gonna be nice about it. She was like, yeah, get out my face, basically. So because right now who she's feeling is Theo, the doctor from New York. And she and Phil are still like kicking it and stuff like that. So it's between those two for her, clearly. Um, Wale, it has confided in Shannon all this time, this whole journey. And he was telling Shannon that he doesn't know what's going on with him and Ashley. I mean, basically, he's reaching a boiling point when it comes to her going between him and Raph. Like, he just is not with it. It's like, he just, I can feel like the frustration on him. I can see it in his face and his body, and all of that. So on the group date, they all decide not to sit with who they are romantically interested in. They want to kind of talk to the other guys to see what their heads are. But of course, James can't leave Luann alone for 5 seconds. He, while they're finger painting and stuff like that, or whatever they doing. I think they had like spirit animals that they were painting, right? So while they're doing that, he's over there, painting Luann as if she's his spirit animal, I guess. And so yeah, they just doing their own thing. They both quirky and odd together. So if it works for her, then cool. Um, you know, let's see. Ashley's telling Mitch to be assertive with Luann. Like, Mitch is he's a newer guy. He's kind of been on the sidelines. He's feeling Luann, but she ain't really gave him the time of day, because for her it was between Mark and James. So it comes to a point where, he does have a conversation with Luann, and Luann ain't even studying about trying to talk to him. Like, he was trying to tell her that he feels like James isn't good for her, this, that, and the other. And I feel like that's where he messed up, because if she feeling James, your approach should not be to be attack James. It should be giving her a reason to look at you twice. In the middle of him talking, she was like, where's James? He got me a drink. I'm finna go have a drink with James. Like, bye. I was like, golly. So she's pretty much sequestered herself to James at this point, which makes James feel like he can say things like, she's my girlfriend, because you really not dating anybody else, Luann. But she keeps telling him, I'm not your girlfriend. So this is odd. And then, you know, we see things where um Phil tells Gizelle, "Oh yeah, I knew Cynthia Bailey already," and she was like, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, when she was married to Mike Hill, they came to my house, but because she didn't remember me, I didn't say anything about it. You know what I'm saying?" And so she was like, for Gizelle, when you leave stuff like that out, um, you are lying. Like that's how she feels. It's kind of like a lie of omission, which, I mean, I don't know at what point he would have told her other than when he told her, but I guess she feels like when Cynthia came in, he should have been like, "Oh yeah, Cynthia, hi, I'm so and so. You and Mike came to my house, blah blah blah." I don't know at what point they had a chance to do anything except what we saw, but for Gizelle, she's just naturally suspicious anyway because of everything she's been through. So he's not really adding up no points in her book. Okay. She also found out that Theo used to kind of model a little bit in New York, and then production tells her that Phil has been like a Ford agency model for like 40 years. And she was like, why isn't he not telling me these things? You know what I mean? So she's feeling kind of like I'm not getting everything from Phil that I should be getting from him, basically. So yeah, here we are. Um, Earl is watching the Hurricane Helene at the time. That's what was going on. And he has two homes, which, you know, um, wasn't widely known until this happened. He has a home in St. Petersburg, Florida, and he has a home in Lawrenceville, Georgia. So he's worried about his Florida home because the hurricane is like really, doing a lot in that area at the time. So his mind is kind of on that. Um, Wale is opening up to Ashley about his past and how he grew up in a rough neighborhood. And Ashley was like, it's rough neighborhoods in Rhode Island. Because I think as a whole, we kind of forget about Rhode Island and we really don't know much about Rhode Island. I said that when I made the announcement about the Real Housewives of Rhode Island series coming soon. And so, yeah, he was like, well, there's rough neighborhoods everywhere, which I can understand and believe that. So he was just telling her a little bit about his past and everything like that. She'd be back and forth between him and, um, Ralph or whatever. So, yeah, I think she feels like, you know, she's just kind of trying to accommodate them both until she makes a decision. And Wale tells her, you have enough information to make a decision at this point. Like I've been here this whole time. You just started your little interaction with Ralph more recently. In this time, you should know what direction you want to go in. So when he was talking to her, she was like, so are you removing yourself? And I was like, I didn't hear him say that at all. I feel like for her, if he were to remove himself, then it'd be easier on her to just make the decision to choose Ralph, because I feel like that's the direction she's leaning in anyway. You know what I'm saying? But he was like, that's not what I said. I feel like you don't even listen to me. You know what I mean? So, you know, um, he continued to be pissed off, but still wanting her at this point. So yeah, because um, when they were at the pool, she was like, can I talk to you for a minute? He was like, no, I don't feel like talking right now. He was like, everything is always on her terms. Like, I'm sick of it. I just feel like I spend my time here waiting for her to call me over when she's done with Ralph. He was like, as a man, it's starting to mess with him. So it's not an easy situation to be in. It's not one that I would readily choose, but that is what you signed up for, and you can always leave if that's what you want to do, because clearly Ashley gonna do what she want to do, obviously. So, um, yeah, Joel tells them that they're having the spa day and everything. And James is like, oh, well, nobody else better be massaging Luann. And at the same time, Luann is saying, oh, James gives the best massages and stuff. And so, he's kind of like on this thing where, oh, nobody else better not be touching Luann, basically. Very territorial. A lot of the other people are seeing it as a red flag. A lot of the other cast is like, he's talking about Luann, I love Luann, and they feel like it hasn't been enough time for him to feel all these strong feelings that he said he feels. And so yeah, no one's really, liking the direction that the relationship with Luann and James are going in. But nobody's gonna stop it because she's grown. She's gonna do what she wanna do. While they were in the pool, Luann and James over there doing their own thing, whatever that is. um, and so, um, in the meantime, Earl does get a key to Shannon's suite, and he grabs his things. He moves in, and shortly after he settles his things, the girls decide that they're going to go and have a girls' night out, I guess. So Earl was like, okay, I'm tired, I'm just going to be here and chill. She said, okay, I'll be back. So she goes, she has a good time. We see that she's dancing in the chair. And then the next morning, we see her like bawling her eyes out, crying hard. So the ladies come in and they're like, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? They're trying to see like what happened. And she's like telling them what happened with Earl. So basically, she says when she got back, Earl wasn't there. She called him. He didn't answer the phone. So he spent the night, I guess, in his room. About an hour before the girls came to see Shannon, he had a conversation with Shannon. He was upset because she wasn't there for him during this storm. As it turns out, his house in St. Petersburg was fine, but his home in Lawrenceville was affected by the storm. And so he felt like in that moment he needed Shannon to be there for him. Yes, she was out having a good time, but he was like, she wasn't considerate enough to ask how was his home, was everything okay with the storm. Shannon's position is, okay, so when the storm moved on past St. Petersburg, I didn't keep up with the direction of the storm. I thought that your home in St. Petersburg was the one that was in immediate danger. When the storm moved on from that location, I thought that all was well. So he's mad because, he was like, everything is not about you. Like, sometimes I need support too. So here's my thoughts on this. And she tells the girls this, right? Here's my thoughts on this. When she did her 1 year anniversary for the DUI that she got, right? She didn't clearly communicate what she needed from Earl. She just assumed that he would know what to do. Just like he assumed that she would know what his expectations are. And here's why I say you have to clearly communicate even from the beginning. Because think about it, folks. They don't know each other like that. They don't know each other well enough to anticipate what the other one needs. You know what I mean? Even when you know somebody well, you don't always get it right. So they both have the same problem of needing something, not clearly communicating it, and then getting mad with the other person when they don't do it. That's what I see from this whole scenario. So, at the end of the day, now he sees how she felt the night that she wanted support from him regarding her DUI anniversary. I mean, who the hell knows that that's something you even want to talk about? You know what I'm saying? Unless you say it. And she was like, well, when I told him about my 1 year DUI anniversary, I thought he would just celebrate me. Like, that's not something, I mean, some people would rather not even discuss that at all. You know what I mean? So that's why communication is so very important, y'all. I mean, like, and not only just communicating, but like effective communication, thorough communication. Like, okay, not saying that she was wrong for going out with her friends, because she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's kind of like, if he wasn't going to ask her to stay with him, then he could have told her, hey, my house got hit, something. And I'm pretty sure she would have responded and, been there for him, but he didn't even do that. He just waited until he just got mad, waited until the morning, and then kind of laid into her, right? Which I'm pretty sure him saying the things that he said to her is what made her cry because honestly, it was him telling her that she wasn't there for him is what made her cry because I don't feel like anything he said was any grounds for her crying. It's just Shannon seems like one of those people that don't like to be seen in the wrong for something and it upsets her and that's what makes her cry, right? So because what he said and what they unless they cut something out, what he said to her wasn't enough for her to be crying like that, in my opinion. So then they all go downstairs and Joel trying to get the day started, but Gizelle is like, listen, it's something that we become aware of that Shannon has told us about her and Earl, and we just want to hear Earl's side of it. So before Earl can get too far into the story, Shannon is like, don't you dare, don't you dare. And everybody looking at her like, don't you dare what? Like, he just telling his perspective of what happened. At this point, the ladies have always told her it's a no for Earl, for her. At this point, they're just too different and they're not mature enough. As old as they are, and I hate to use the word old, but I mean, she's 60 years old. And I think he's somewhere around the same age as her. At this point in your lives, in this stage in your lives, there should be no miscommunication to this level, in my opinion. Say what it is you need. Give the person an opportunity to provide it for you. And if they don't or if they can't, then you know where you stand. But assuming that somebody knows what you're thinking when they just met you like a couple of weeks ago is dumb to me. And I get that the ladies are trying to support Shannon. At the same time, Shannon ain't always right in the situation. You know what I'm saying? She's not. So I just feel like at this point it's a wash with those two. Unless they are really going to dedicate themselves to trying to more, deeply understand each other, which I don't know if it's worth it or not because, you know, she's all the way in Orange County, California. He's all the way in Georgia and Florida. You know, it would be majorly long distance. And I don't know if it's worth it at this point because I don't see him giving up his life, his homes to be with her. I don't see her giving up her life, her home, and whatever she has going on in Orange County to come live in Georgia, maybe Florida, but I don't even think the house in Florida would be up to her standard. So it's a wash for them, for me. They good people. They just not good together, it seems. Also, Luann was talking about the fact that she and James will be long distance, and she doesn't feel like it could work. Really, she keeps bringing that up. I feel like Luann is having a good time with James while they're there. Once they leave, that's a wrap. That's what I feel like with her. I mean, because she's there, she's getting paid, she's doing the show, she's in a beautiful place. Why not have fun with who's here? That's how I feel like she's doing it. We did see where, coming up, Ashley is still going between the two men. She can't make up her mind, child. She just cannot make up her mind. We see where, you know, Shannon is talking about going with her gut, whatever that means. I don't know. It's hard to tell with her. We do see where Gizelle does give Phil a peck on the lips, which is a lot for her. Like, child, y'all don't even understand how much that is for Gizelle. She's trying not to like nobody. So for her to give him a peck was, something. But I don't think he still got a chance with her for real. On decision day, we see Ashley crying, Joel hugging her, and she was like, did she make the wrong decision? I can only see her responding that way if she chooses to let Wale go. You know what I'm saying? Because she likes him, but she can't see herself entering into a relationship with a man who's never been married, who don't have children of his own, and wants them. That's what I think. But we'll see. We'll see. We only have a few more episodes left in this series. So far, it's been pretty good. Like, it hasn't been bad. I was not sure how it was going to go, but I like it so far. You guys tell me what you think. That's all I have for this episode, guys. Please comment, like, share, subscribe, all those good things, and I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.